Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, can the Cowboys remain hot in their division clash with the Redskins? Plus, Shannon blasts Kiko Lonzo after the Dolphins linebacker's huge hit on Joe Flacco. And will a season filled with distractions sink the Steelers this year? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The Cowboys will be in Washington to play the Redskins Sunday on Fox. Both teams are 3-3, looking up at the Eagles in the standings. Ezekiel Elliott has been on a roll lately, with over 350 total yards in the last 2 games, and the Cowboys have won 4 straight in Washington. All right, Shannon, who wins on Sunday?
Washington will win this game on Sunday.
Huge.
Don't worry about it.
40 to nothing. How about 40 to nothing? Do it.
It does not matter. Kirk Cousins will prove that he is, quote unquote, special.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed.
As he always has before. Go ahead.
I got Washington winning 27-23. Actually, Skip, and you hate saying this early, but this is a must-win game for them. If they have any hopes of trying to win this division, they must win this game. They've already lost 2 to Philly. They lose this one. Now they're 0-3 in the division. They still would have to go to Dallas. I think they play them on Thanksgiving or something like that, close around that time. And then they still have 2 games against the Giants. I do not believe you can go 0-3 in this, 0-4 in this, or it'd be 0-3. 0-3 in this division and still win this division. Win your division, you get a home playoff game, although it didn't serve your team well last year. But that's neither here nor there.
I thought it did. Actually.
No, it did.
Go ahead.
Look, I love the way Kirk Cousins is playing. They're 3-3, 12 touchdowns, 3 INTs.
He's phenomenal.
He's not the reason that they're losing these ball games.
Yep.
I like Chris Thompson, because you know what Todd Gurley did to him early in the year.
Yep.
Sean McVay, this is his system. So I expect to see Chris Thompson have a big day. Two of the last 3 weeks, I think he's gone over 100 yards receiving. They are running back by committee. Rob Kelly, P. Ryan, Thompson gets some carries.
University of Oklahoma. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just helping you out a little bit.
And Kurt. Jordan Reed is back healthy.
Wait, Kurt? Kurt Cousins?
Kirk.
Oh, he's Kirk. I don't know which he is.
He's first Cousins. You'll find out. You're going to be brother-in-law to you after Sunday, because after he put this on the Cowboys, like I expect him to.
Like you hope he will.
You know what, Skip? After he do y'all, I'm coming to your house. I'm going to ring your doorbell. And it's not going to be trick or treat. You know it might be. I might have me a bottle of that old hen dog, my stocking cap on, my house, you Joy, coming in trick or treat. Ding dong, ding dong.
You got to get through the gate first. They won't let you through. I will tell the officer at the gate, no Shannon.
Oh, your boy can't come over.
Come in.
Okay.
And especially on Sunday, late day. Is that it?
I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead.
So you're saying Washington 27, Dallas 23.
Yes.
Would you like to put 2 cases of dew on said score?
No, I put 2 on the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're going straight up. 2 cases of Diet Mountain Dew.
No, your team is favored. I'm getting the points.
No, you get no points.
Your team is favored.
Kidding? So what? That's crazy. How could my team be favored against Kirk Cousins in Washington? Huh?
Kurt Cousins or Kirk Cousins?
It's Kurt.
See, okay, Bruce.
So are you going 2 cases?
Yeah.
We got it straight up, because you've been saying all week that Washington's just going to fly.
I don't want no point. I don't want any
You don't
point.
need
Don't
any
want
points.
them.
Good. Done deal. Write it down. Thank you very much.
2 cases.
That's in concrete for 2 cases.
Yep.
I like it.
Sure hope you weren't playing on
Nectar of the gods.
You're not winning, Skip.
Speaking of must win, I'm going to lay it right here on the table. This is also a must win for my team if my team's going to be the team I thought before the year my team is going to be. And if my team loses this game, I'll come right in here and say, that's it, it's basically over, because it wouldn't be impossible to do, but it would be nearly impossible to win the division if you lose this game on Sunday against your arch rival at their place. And I will be the first to admit that I don't have one scrap of legitimate proof that my team is the team that I thought it was going to be. Not a scrap of it, because clearly my team has beaten 3 teams, none of which are legitimate proof to me. The New York Football Giants, Arizona, San Francisco. I can't, you can knock down every argument I make about what they have done so far. But I will remind you, they were ahead of the Los Angeles Rams, who are legit, 24-13 in the first half, and they did not have Sean Lee to get the game home in the second half. And by the way, Sean Lee will have a little something to do with Chris Thompson's performance on Sunday. And Sean Lee, the last I checked, is healthy. So I'm hoping that Chris Thompson will be held to a low roar by Sean Lee, just the way Todd Gurley would have been in the Rams game.
No, he would not have.
And by the way, my team was ahead of Aaron Rodgers 21-6 in the first half and couldn't get it home because Sean Lee wasn't there in the second half.
How did they get that lead to begin with?
How did they get it?
Yeah.
Because they got the most explosive offense in the football.
Okay, so but I'm saying, how was the Packers only able to score 6 points without Sean Lee being in the game?
Because the Packers dominated time of possession in the second half. I think it was 19-11 in the second half. That just won't work. Sorry. That's all about Sean Lee. You got to have Sean Lee to stop to make them punt a couple of times and get the ball back to the most explosive offense. And then obviously the 49ers have not yet won a football game, but I told you after a bye week, it was just what the doctor ordered for my team to go to San Francisco, albeit against a rookie quarterback starting his first ever NFL game, and get ahead 40-3. Tour de force, show of force. And that's what I wanted to see because this team now feels good about itself. It is now starting to come together on both sides of the ball for the first time all season heading into the killer stretch of the season.
I see what you're doing.
At Washington, Kansas City, at Atlanta, and then guess who comes visiting to Jerry World? The Philadelphia Eagles that you say have already just run away with the division.
That wins in a lifetime quarterback?
Yeah, wins in a lifetime, Pennsylvania, Carson wins. So, my team is now a 2-point favorite, as you say.
Can I get those?
No. At Washington against a Washington team that is coming off a short week after a very physical battle at Philadelphia, a division rival battle. And I see my team winning just the same kind of game it won twice last year. Same kind of score, same motif, same MO. I'm going to say Cowboys 30, Washington 24. And I will give you, Kirk Cousins is going to make a lot of throws. He's going to complete a lot of passes. What did he complete last year? Was it like 41 passes on Thanksgiving?
41 of 53 for 449, 3 touchdowns.
449 and 3 touchdowns.
Zach was 4 for 4 in the red zone. Kurt was 2 of 5.
And Kirk Cousins will make a lot of plays. He just won't make the play. He will turn back into Kurt Cousins right on schedule when you least expect it or need it. And he will fail to cash in on those opportunities. 2 for 5 in the red zone, as you just said. Dak, 4 for 4 in the red zone. That's the MO of Kirk Cousins. I told you yesterday, I went through the whole chapter and verse. Kirk Cousins, every big game, fails in the red zone. Completes a lot of passes. The numbers look good. He'll even throw a lot of touchdown passes, except he won't make the play, the throw, the pass.
Skip Bayless, I see what you're doing. Now all of a sudden, you want to say, well, the Cowboys really haven't beaten anybody. They beat the New York Football Giants, who isn't very good. They beat the Cards, who aren't very good.
True.
And they beat an 0-6 team, not 0-7 49ers team. But that's not what you were saying Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I just told you I needed that one game. You can call the San Francisco game, call it a practice game, call it an exhibition game. I'll take that. You can even say it really didn't count, even though they did get the dub from it. What they got was the confidence from it. It was the moment they needed to come back together, and guess what? Zeke turned back into the freak for the first time all year. You know it, and I know it. That was 2016 Ezekiel Elliott against the 49ers. And we're not that bad on defense.
And I told you how the Cowboys could be successful. It's you that choose not to believe it. You believe that the offense runs through number 4. But I know...
Wait, you mean the guy who has the second best QBR in all of pro football and will probably be leading that QBR race after this weekend because we'll talk about this later, but Deshaun Watson has a game up at Seattle.
I said the reason why the Cowboys can be successful or should be successful if 2-1 carries the ball. If I'm Washington... I'm going to make sure I put heavy emphasis on the games that they lost. I'm looking at those. If Dak Prescott can throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns, you walk to the middle of the field after the game, say, good job, young man. See you down the road. You're a heck of a player.
Like he did against Green Bay in the playoff game?
No, he did what
he did what you just said. He did that. 3 touchdowns.
Joy is my server. Joy, I'm on the sports menu. I like to have an order of the W's. Give Skip an order of the L's, because that's what he took in the playoff game, Skip. You keep talking about, stats. He went head-to-head with that bad man.
Did he?
And if it wasn't for the head, no, he did not.
He did.
And that bad man did him in.
I thought he outplayed the bad man. In fact, he had a better QBR in that playoff game than the bad man.
You know
How
what?
do you account for that?
Unbutton 2 buttons on that vest, because it's affecting your brain. Skip, how about this? And you keep talking, Kirk Cousins in the red zone. Do you know Kirk Cousins has only thrown 3 interceptions in the red zone? Granted, one of them was against your Cowboys.
Just doesn't make
He's
plays.
54-3 in the red zone. 54 touchdowns.
I got a better number. Speaking of the server here, dubs and L's.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is 1-4 against my Dallas Cowboys.
2-4.
How do you account for that, Mr. Sharpe? You're betting on a man who's 1-4.
Yep.
Whose one win came against a young man who got cut by the Cowboys yesterday, Kellen Moore. He's no longer, God bless you, young man. I hope you do well somewhere else. But he is no longer the backup quarterback for my Dallas Cowboys, and he is the only victim of Kirk Cousins of those 5 games. And Matt Castle beat Kirk Cousins at Washington.
Trevor Siemian beat Dak Prescott.
No, the Broncos beat the Cowboys.
No, don't do that.
The Broncos played their Super Bowl. I told you the day after, and what happened after that? The Broncos turned back into the Siemians.
Just help me understand this.
Yeah.
Why is it when your team wins, is Dak wins, but the other team is a team win? Why do Dak get credit, but other quarterbacks do not?
Quarterback is by far the most valuable position
so Trevor
in any
Siemian.
sport.
Okay, Trevor Siemian. He was the quarterback for the Broncos.
No.
What did y'all in?
How many turnover game. That was a turnover game. 2 interceptions thrown by Dak Prescott that, according to the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, were not his fault.
Okay, what about those touchdowns that he threw?
Interesting.
What about those touchdowns that Trevor Siemian threw? What part did Dallas play in that?
Hey, you know what they say.
I don't know what they say.
Every dog has his day.
Hold on.
He had his day.
Joy, who are they? Twitter? Who are they? I don't know who they are.
Twitter.
I don't read Twitter.
Okay, then, well, who are they?
That's just like an old cliche.
Who said it?
Every dog has his day. Do you love Trevor Siemian? No. You want him replaced.
When you find out who they are, tell them I got something for
Maybe it's from the Shannon Sharpe coffee table book of sayings.
No.
Maybe
but you know what, Skip Bayless? Kirk, my first cousin, gonna put on the display.
Okay.
You know what? I'm thinking about putting another case, say he throw for more than 350.
But why would I do that? He threw for 449 and lost on Thanksgiving Day. Why would I make a dumb bet like that?
That's not dumb.
It's just stupid.
Hold on.
It's just stupid. I only care about who wins.
Let me ask you a question.
Who will be the winning quarterback?
Kirk.
Dak Prescott.
First cousins.
Yeah.
Hold on. That you mean to tell me you don't feel comfortable betting on a team that has DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor?
You know what? My defense did come alive against San Francisco, albeit against the rookie quarterback. Started taking the ball away for the first time this year.
I can rush for 42 yards against 49.
Smelling a little blood. Here they're coming.
Okay,
they're starting to figure out Marinelli's system. The kids are starting to figure out where they belong. Here they come.
Skip.
Here they come.
You want me to put emphasis on their figuring out a defense against the 49ers? No, I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Practice game.
So now it's a practice.
I just told
Skip,
you.
you being very disrespectful to another professional team, and I don't like it.
And you know what? As down as I've been on Des Bryant, somehow against Washington, he plays big. Every time, even against Josh Norman last year, and I'm not sure Josh, he's got cracked ribs. I'm not sure he's going to play or not. But even when he did play last year, Des put up some big numbers in both those games.
You remember what he did today on Thanksgiving. You want to see another performance like that?
He was playing with a different football team.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
He was playing with the defense that led the NFL in takeaways that year, had Cam Newton the MVP at quarterback, and went 15-1.
Well, we got.
Guess who my quarterback was? It was Tony. Coming back from an injury he probably shouldn't even have tried from. I never loved him. I told you, I never thought he could get us home.
But y'all dated. I mean, you might not love him.
I was stuck with him.
No.
I was stuck with him.
You could have got out of the relationship at any time you wanted to. You hear that, Joey, talking about he was stuck.
All I know is now I got Dak and you do not have Dak.
I don't want it.
And now my team is on its way toward winning the NFC East.
My quarterback in the NFC East resides in Philly.
Yeah.
He's a once-in-a-lifetime player, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about first cousins, Kirk. who's going to get his revenge against you. He's about to be 2-4. Your guy's about to be 2-1. Well, one of y'all 1-0 in the division. You're about to be 1-0. 1-1, excuse me. 1-1 in the division. And Washington stays alive in the division after hanging that L on the Cowboys.
Another funny little stat I'll just toss out. I don't know how this happened, but my Cowboys have won, I think it's the last 6 times they've played at Washington. I don't know how that is. Okay. Wow, that's interesting.
It happened.
You sweating over there?
And
starting to sweat?
And the last time you guys played at San Francisco, you're probably 5-0 in the last 5 times you played there.
Yep.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay, now I'm going to be completely, utterly objective about this. I'm going to tell you up front, I got one issue with my football team.
No, you have no issues.
I got one caveat. I got one huge concern.
I'm not listening.
You know what I always say about place kicking? I despise it because it's a silly gimmick.
It's not a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, and it's
so Tom Brady got 2 gimmick Super Bowls.
Oh, please. Well, he set them up, and I can't take the rule out, but guess what? Guess what? The kicker has way too much impact on the scoreboard. I've been saying it for 30 years in this business. And now I just lost the most accurate place kicker in the history of pro football. I think the clutchest kicker in current day pro football.
Jason Tucker.
I don't have Dan Bailey.
Justin Tucker says, hold my yak.
He's the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Ever.
First of all, Skip, he's only been kicking for like 3 years.
3 years? No, he hasn't. It's like 6 or 7 years.
He's not been kicking longer than Tucker.
So what?
And
yes,
Tucker's
he has.
Better.
Yes, he has.
Tucker's better. Who's the All-Pro kicker last year?
I don't care. So here's my point. I don't have him. And all of a sudden, I wind up with a Mike Nugent who was rejected by the Redskins just last week. That they decide to go with that kid Nick Rose, who grew up in Dallas and went to Highland Park High School. So now, I assume he was a Cowboy fan. I don't know for sure.
No.
But now he's kicking for the Redskins because he won the tryout over Mike Nugent, who then winds up in Dallas as they go to Washington. And Mike Nugent was, once upon a time, a second-round pick. And then, as happens to all place kickers, the demons got a hold of him, and he just lost it. And he got cut by the Jets, then he got cut by the Bucks, then he got cut by the Cardinals, and then by the Bengals, and then by the Giants that you loved during the preseason. He got cut by the Giants in the preseason. And now he winds up kicking for my Cowboys in the turning point game of the year as they go into their roughest part of their schedule. Mike Nugent, I am stuck with that because my kicker pulled his groin.
Okay, you're stuck with it. So
I'm just saying that's my caveat. If it comes down to Mike Nugent against Nick Rose for the game, it's wrong to start with. It should never come down to a guy who doesn't even play football. But if it does, I'm probably in trouble. Well, I'll be the first to admit.
Well, I'm glad that you finally said that Tom Brady has 2 gimmick Super Bowls because Adam Vinatieri trotted out there in the last.
I can't remove it. Well, Adam Vinatieri is simply the greatest place kicker in the history of pro football.
But he's not a football player, and it's a gimmick position.
It is.
That's what you said.
I said it.
So you can't,
I can't remove it though. I can't undo the rule.
Well, I don't want to hear no caveats.
I just told you.
Washington, no, I didn't listen. I didn't hear a word you said. I disregarded. The judge, Joy, told me to disregard what I just heard coming out of your mouth. So I didn't hear what you just said. The fact of the matter is, the better team will win on Sunday, which will be Washington. Kurt, my first cousins, will finally make you eat all those bad things that you've been saying about him for the last 3 years. Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
You talk about
tell the truth.
You talk about he's an underconfident overachiever.
He quotes me.
Yeah, that's what you said. But you keep saying, but I haven't said anything bad about it. You have said something bad about it.
Completely in your psyche.
No.
You go home at night and think about underconfident overachiever.
Battle
He's right.
It's going to be, he will show you who's the best 4th-round draft pick quarterback on the field on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when you come in here, I want my diet due. As a matter of fact, I want to.
You don't even like diet.
I sure don't. But I like the fact that you got to go get it.
Yeah. Do you remember last year when you had to wheel in the whole case of Diet Mountain Dew? Remember that?
I had to bring it a pallet.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's what it's going to look like on Monday morning here.
You bring it back. You know, hey, you pay it forward.
2 cases on it.
Pay it forward.
27-23 Washington, Skip is 30-24 Dallas,
and I feel
NFL
really good about it.
NFL Network is reporting that Josh Norman will play on Sunday.
Ooh.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, you see that commercial he
says
got?
He will. We'll see.
You see that commercial he got when that BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? I hope he does play. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. What is he? Slow as a snail or whatever it is?
No mercy. Joe Flacco was knocked out of last night's game against the Dolphins with a concussion. Late in the second quarter, Flacco scrambled and slid short of a first down, but took a forearm to the head. Lonzo and John Harbaugh then got in a heated exchange, and both talked about the hit after the game. Let's take a listen.
That wasn't a clean hit, was it?
I'm not commenting on that. Yeah, I was penalized correctly, I would say.
You feel like an ejection was?
It's not for me to say, but thanks for asking.
You concerned at all that there might be a suspension of that?
That's out of my hands, man. You know, like I said, it's a bang play. I hope he's all right. Truly do. Yeah, I mean, at first I was anticipating him. I thought he was gonna slide, and then it got to a point where I'm like, well, I gotta hit him because he slid too late. It's bang.
Shannon, should Lonzo be suspended for that?
Hell
hit?
yes, and for multiple games. Danny Trevathan got 2 games with no history of being late. Now, he appealed that, of being dirty. He appealed that, got it reduced to 1. Kiko Alonso got a history of this. He hit Brian Hoyer the exact same way on a quarterback slide. Not only did he knock him out the game, he knocked him out of the season.
Well, I don't think he's ever been fined or suspended.
Doesn't matter. Has he done something like this before? If the quarterback is giving himself up, you better treat it like before the game. When those planes fly over, you better do a flyover. Not only did he hit him late, he hit him in his head, Skip. That's the whole purpose. Once he goes into that slide, hit him in his body, I can see. But you hit him in his neck and shoulder, you hit him in his head. Let me ask you a question. They hit Tom Brady, what's going to happen like that?
When would Tom Brady ever try that?
Oh, so,
Never.
So Tom Brady has never slid, never given himself up.
He's not going to try for a first down. He might try for the goal line.
Skip. Skip, you being so disingenuous right now. You make it seem like Tom Brady is God. Tom Brady has ran for first down. Tom Brady has slid and given himself up.
Well, he is God. We know that. But go ahead.
But anyway, he's going to be suspended multiple games. You can't hit the quarterback in the head. You can't hit him once he gives himself up. I would be shocked if he doesn't get 3 games. He appeals and comes down. 3 games, he appeals it, comes down to 2. He has a history of this. Go pull the tape in which he hit Brian Hoyer the exact same way.
Silly me, I don't even think a flag should have been thrown on this play. And I'm usually the one defending the quarterback, especially when the said quarterback is a defenseless sitting duck, as Aaron Rodgers was after he had rolled to his right and thrown the pass with his eyes downfield, and Anthony Barr was allowed to continue his charge and follow through and drive Aaron Rodgers' shoulder into the turf when he had no way of fighting back or defending himself, and actually bouncing on that shoulder until it cracked and broke, and it now has, what did he say, 13 screws in it, says Aaron Rodgers. So this was completely different because this was a 13-0 game late in the first half with Baltimore driving for what could be the clinching touchdown, and it's 3rd and 10 at the Miami 20, and Flacco takes off running, and it's clear he sees the first down stick, and he is trying to get the football across said first down stick. So he could have gone into his slide and given himself completely up with a baseball-type slide in which he extends his toes forward and puts his elbows back on the ground.
He's not a baseball player. All he has to do is give himself up. How it looks in the process is unimportant.
He didn't give himself up, quote unquote, until the last split seconds because he was trying to get the football across the line to gain. And in this case, he did his all-out slide. He half slid because he keeps his upper body upright because he's trying to get the football across the line to gain. So it's just like a punt returner. You can't call for a fair catch just as the defender's about to hit you because the defender can't stop. That they're taught to be aggressive, obviously, and I don't think Kiko Alonso's a dirty player. That's just me. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it.
I think
dirty player. He plays hard and he plays fast and he plays physical.
All I'm saying is that he's done this before to Brian Hoyer.
Okay, but this is a case of a quarterback has clearly turned himself completely into a ball carrier trying to get a first down that's going to be crucial in the game, because if you stop it and you hold them to 3 points and it's 16-0, it feels a lot different than 20-0, which it then became.
Even
20-0.
It doesn't matter whether he turned himself into a ball carrier. A ball carrier can give himself up as well.
Okay, how is Kiko Alonso even going to stop? Because it's so split second.
Fly
he goes
over.
into a half slide,
over.
fly over, and then he crunches down, and there's no target. Like Kiko said after the game, I don't know where to hit him. I got to hit him somewhere to stop his forward motion.
So let me ask you a question. First of all, where he goes into the slide, that's where the ball is placed. So he wasn't. If he was trying to get the ball over the line, why didn't he dive with?
He's upright. It's a half slide. It's not.
Skip, look at this. Look at that picture.
No, but you're seeing it after he's getting hit. This is late in the play.
Skip. Even a ball carrier.
He's upright.
Even a ball carrier can give himself up. Go check the tape. DeMarco Murray did the exact same thing when he was in Philly. He gave himself up. Just because quarterbacks are not the only ones that can give themselves up. You can give yourself up because we've seen it late in the situation where a receiver catches the ball and he's running, he gives himself up.
Okay, I know you can do that, but a quarterback, the game is rigged to protect the quarterback as he crosses the line of scrimmage. But you have to go into a baseball slide with your elbows down.
Oh, you have to.
Yes, you do. You know how to do it. You go into a baseball slide and you do it 5 yards before the defender.
Skip, you don't get to determine when he gets to go into a slide.
Yeah, you do. You just see that you're starting to get approached, and so you just go into your slide and say, I'm out, I'm off limits.
Skip, you do not get to determine what's in the quarterback's mind and how soon he should go into the slide.
I don't think you can determine what's in Kiko's mind. He's just trying to make a play.
So is that the way you normally hit how many times have I've never...
Where else are you going to hit him? How are you going to get much lower than that?
My point
but
exactly.
He's sitting upright. He's sitting upright.
Skip.
That's a half slide.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
I'm not even going to throw a flag on that. Okay, so especially if you suspend him, you're going to take the football completely out of football.
He's getting suspended.
Well, then that makes me sick.
Let me ask you a question. If a receiver catches the ball and he makes no attempt to get up, and you jump on him and you hit him in his head, what's going to happen?
Okay, he's making no attempt to get up because he's not trying for a first down. He's trying for a first down.
No, he's not.
Do you realize he's right at the line to gain?
No.
Why do you think he sat up with the football like this? He's trying to get the football across the line. It doesn't matter.
Because where he goes into the slide, that's where the ball is going to be spotted.
He really didn't go into a slide. He just went down for the first down line. You know it and I know it.
If he was trying
You're wrong about this.
The way I look at it, if Joe Flacco was trying to get the first down, why not put the ball and dive over the line if he's trying to get the first down? Why slide?
Because he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He's trying to be protected.
That's what you're trying to do now.
No, he's sitting upright. A slide is a slide where you go backwards.
You
put your upper body down. Is he not sitting upright? You can't do that.
Everybody doesn't slide like Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson played baseball. Some guys do it better than others. Some guys slide and their feet are up in the air. Cam Newton can slide and pop right up.
Joe Flacco was well aware of where the first down marker was? Do you think he was trying to get a first down?
No, because if he was trying to get a first down, he wouldn't have gone into a slide.
Oh, please stop.
I'll give you a prime example.
If he wasn't trying to get a first down, he would have slid 5 yards before that, and we wouldn't be having any conversation right now.
I'll give you a prime example. In the Super Bowl, John Elway knew what the first down was. What did he do, Skip?
Well, he tried to make a play.
First.
Okay. Did he get hit?
Yes.
Thank you.
Because he did not give himself up.
Okay, you're making my case. Thank you. I agree. He's not giving himself up either.
Better case of do he get suspended?
I don't want to. I told you it'd just make me sick. It'll just be wrong.
Well, get prepared to take some kale pectate because you about to be sick.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Well, speaking of kale pectate, Joy, it was 40-0, and guess who I missed last night? Maybe some Dolphin fans might have missed. Maybe Jay Cutler isn't that bad after all.
That guy from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, remember that guy?
You see that cat?
Remember that guy?
They signed that cat that ran on the field.
So maybe we want more was you got less.
Right? That was not me chanting.
We want more. We want more. We want more.
Skip, I heard.
You know, backup quarterbacks have been getting a lot of play this year.
Yeah.
At least 15 backups have played significant time.
Come back, Jay Cutler.
Backup quarterbacks are like that donut tire that you put on your car if you have a flat. Skip. It's a short term. It's a short-term fix, not a long-term solution. Man, they say the Dolphins sent 50,000 Matt Moore jerseys to a third world country. They sent them back. Say we'd rather have on nothing to wear this
You know what's funny about Jay Cutler? He was 4-2 as the starting quarterback, and he won at the Chargers. He beat the Titans. He won at the Falcons, and he beat the Jets when they were starting to come alive. That's pretty good.
And in 12 years, he's gone to the playoffs once.
Wow. Maybe he's not
in
so
12
bad.
years. And the Dolphins got almost $30 million in quarterbacks on the shelf.
On the sideline. Yeah, Baltimore's defense limited Miami to 196 yards. Pico will likely also be fined as well. Trevathan got over $117,000 fine.
You hear the quarterback skill go talk about, you funny skill.
Trevathan, that was just a flat-out cheap shot.
The guy
he just comes flying.
The guy was fighting for extra yards.
No, he was just held up. He was stood up.
Well, he should have gave himself up, like you said. No.
No mercy. The Steelers are 3-point favorites on the road Sunday night against the Lions. Pittsburgh is tied for the best record in the AFC, but they've had plenty of off-the-field issues. This week, Martavis Bryant made headlines after he said he will, quote, move on if his role on the team didn't change. Bryant was moved to the practice squad yesterday and will not play on Sunday. We're joined by three-time Super Bowl champion and NFL Network analyst, Willie McGinnis. Welcome.
How you doing?
Back.
Willie back.
Willie, how concerned should the Steelers be with their off-the-field issues?
Wow. I mean, they've handled this before. I think the Steelers is Steeler Nation, and Mike Tomlin has seen this before. It was a couple of weeks ago with Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Ben making comments previous to Lev Bell, some of the players. And, you know, when I look at Martavis Bryant, it's an interesting case. They have invested a lot of him in football. They have invested a lot of him off the field in his personal life. And I think this organization has done a lot for him and showed that they do support him. Now, when you start complaining, my only issue is not him wanting the football more and wanting to be a bigger part of the offense. My complaint with players these days are taking it to social media or taking it to the media and airing their dirty laundry out. And that, to me, is a distraction. If you have a problem with what's going on with your touches, because you see Juju Smith with all these creative touchdown celebrations, and you tweeted about him in the offseason, and now you're seeing his production, and you're not getting as many touches, go to your quarterback in the locker room. Go to your offensive coordinator and have a conversation. I just don't believe on how he went about it. Now, the other thing is your production. Now, you can pull up a lot of tape, which we're probably going to show some B-roll now, is when you get your opportunities,
cash in.
You have to cash in. You can't have drop passes. You can't blow routes. You can't give up on plays. There's a lot of things when you pull the tape, it's a reason why maybe Ben's not going to him in certain situations. And, you know, for me, I just think that with that organization, with the success they've had, with the success they can have this year, you just don't need to speak out.
I agree. The Steelers have done a great job this year. You know, after the Baltimore game, Antonio Brown complained about that one pass that he didn't get. The next game, Ben Roethlisberger came out and gave him 19 targets. Le'Veon Bell said, hey, y'all not running me. Y'all trying to mess with my money. Last 2 weeks, he's around 70 touches. So Martavis Bryant's like, hold on. If I cause a little noise, y'all might just start throwing me the ball. He got benched. And the thing is that someone just like Juju Smith is better than you. And he could have said, nah, and left it at that. He's like putting the guy down. Willie, you and I, we came up in the same era. If you had a problem with something, you talk to your quarterback, you talk to the offensive coordinator. Maybe guys would have gone public if they'd have had social media, but more times than not, you handle it behind closed doors. I'm looking at I love, if I could play for any coach currently, I think, matter of fact, Mike Tomlin would be the guy I'd most like to play for because he tells you like it is. But I don't like the message that this sends. And I get why he sent this message, because he said about the social media policy, but just last year in the playoff game, we got a guy going live from the locker room. But again, what do I say? It's called production and tolerance. When production is here, tolerance will be here. Tolerance will never be higher than production. Martavis Bryant, you had to learn that out the hard way. Now, if Martavis Bryant had 25 catches for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, I can assure you he would be on the field on Sunday. But because he does not, we're going to send a message to you. But he said something, he tweeted like, I've been going through a lot, and I didn't have help from anyone. I mean, the Steelers didn't release you. I don't know if they were like was out there every week while you were going through what you're going through. I don't really get that. I think I'm gonna have to read up a little bit more, have to make some calls to see what he meant by that.
All of which is why I'm not sold on this team. This team had an awful loss at Chicago. I know Chicago's better, but they blew a game in overtime at Chicago, and at home, they just got embarrassed by Jacksonville, and Big Ben threw 5 picks. Right. A couple of them, two went for pick sixes. And it's a crisis a day for a coach that I have often said, if I could play in the National Football League, I would choose to play for that guy. He's fun, he's eloquent, he's insightful. He makes me want to play, you know, like to get up out of this chair, and he's inspirational. But this year it feels like he's lost some control of the football team, because it's like one thing after every day. It's a new thing for them.
A new fire he needs to put out, huh?
Yeah, and sometimes he puts it out, and then sometimes I'm not sure. And with the anthem protests, it felt like he lost a little control of the whole show, the whole locker room, and the whole meeting on Saturday.
Correct.
As the coaches went out to stand for the anthem, but the players decided, I think we'll stay up in the tunnel, but then this, you know, it's one thing after another, and they seem very divided over it.
Correct.
And I'm not sure they're all together, because he doesn't seem to have a grip on the locker room the way I always thought he did. Le'Veon held out. Le'Veon wants more touches. Antonio, obviously, after the playoff game, went live on Facebook and put the coach on live by accident, and the coach is making anti-New England Patriot comments. You being a former Patriot.
What happened when they played the Patriots?
They got
What happened to the Patriots most of the time they play the Patriots?
No, that is a fact. But then, reportedly, Antonio threw the cooler onto the field because he was unhappy with Ben, because he thought Ben was unhappy with him over his anthem protest stances, and that he was looking the other way to try to punish him. And it's just like, this is some deep stuff that's going on that leads all the way to Martavis attacking a rookie teammate on Twitter. And it's like, wow, these are the Steelers. You grew up a Steelers fan. And back to those days of the dynasty in the 70s, I had so much. This was the cornerstone franchise. This stuff never happened with the Terry Bradshaw Steelers teams. No. It was all in-house, but there wasn't social media.
Right.
And
even with Coach Cowher.
It just didn't happen. This stuff didn't happen. So this is just me. They got a dangerous game at Detroit.
Yes.
It's on Sunday night, and they are 3-point favorites at Detroit. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think Detroit's going to win this game, just because this team feels like it's a little off balance to me, and from week to week, I'm not sure what I'm going to get from a very talented but divided Steelers team.
When there's controversy with the Steelers, what usually happens? They come out and perform. We started talking about how Ben maybe questioned if he should hang it up, if he has it anymore.
Yeah, he did.
Right. Antonio Brown, they're not on the same page. Lev Bell not running the ball effectively. What do they do the next week? Come out for almost 300, almost close to 400 yards combined, those two players. And it's hard to control grown men when you have social media and these guys are into their feelings. They're feeling frustrated because their production is either down or not where it needs to be. Antonio Brown, personally, I know how he is. He's frustrated because he wants to make every single play. Right. He doesn't want to leave anything outside the field.
Sure.
And he works his butt off.
Right.
He puts in everything. Martavis Bryant has taken a huge step in trying to be the player they want him to be.
Right.
Now, to his point, he is one of the most talented receivers and players in the league.
Oh, he's
you
special.
know this.
Yes, yeah, he's special.
You know this.
He can be really special. A guy that big can run that fast with that body. I mean, here's a guy who's the second receiver, sometimes third receiver last year. Goes for over 2 years ago, goes for over 170 yards. But see, he has the same problem that Le'Veon has. They're both free agents, and I'm trying to get paid. You know, if I go and if I have like 800 yards.
How do you get paid though?
Well, you can't get paid if you're getting benched because you can't get numbers.
But you got to make plays. Got to come to you.
When you get your that's the thing. You can't complain about the ball. The ball finds you, and somehow it finds its way on the ground. Those two things can't coincide.
Got to make plays.
Make your plays when you get your opportunities. Now, you're not going to be the number one guy in Pittsburgh.
No.
How
many guys are going to be the number one guy in Pittsburgh?
No, it goes Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. So if in the passing game, Antonio Brown's going to get the bulk of the targets. You got to give Le'Veon his touches. When his touches go up, you win. I don't know what to tell you, Martavis.
But, Willie, you know Coach Belichick, and the one thing I admire the most about the New England franchise, that even today with the social media age we're in, with the kids being kids, it doesn't happen at New England. It's the last outpost where you don't hear a peep from anybody, right?
Not even Gronk.
You don't.
I mean, Gronk will do his Gronk thing, but he won't talk about.
He won't do that.
The team.
He'll say next to nothing to the media when he's asked about anything controversial.
When Gronk posts, he posted about stuff that he can sell.
Yeah.
He's selling something.
No, it's true, but nobody complains about carries or touches or targets.
Well, you already know. You're running back, you go in there, you committed.
But you speak out like that, you're gone, man.
Yeah.
They know it.
It's a proven system, and when you come into New England, you understand that this is the way they've won for years.
Right.
With or without you. With or without you.
Without you.
Right? Let me just say this about Mike T. I think he's a great coach, a great communicator. I think I think he does have control of the locker room.
Yeah.
I think he really does. I think guys really, really respect him. Ike Taylor, a lot of guys that played for him, that I know now that plays for him, they have a lot of respect for him. The thing is, when he gets blindsided by things, like RG3 used to do his head coach in Washington and other places, when you get blindsided because you got people in maybe Bryant's ear talking to him, and then you at home and you got your phone, or somebody calls you like, man, you were open like 3 times and Ben didn't even look your way. And Antonio Brown had 155 yards, 170 yards.
There it is, right
And then
there.
guess what? You know what?
What did they just say about what we just said?
Hey, Skip, I was open. I saw that too.
Wait.
Juju Smith ain't better than me.
Right.
Wait,
Because we keep showing Juju's touchdown celebration, correct?
Shannon, you know what they just said?
What they say?
They said, I just kicked your behind.
No, they said, oh, yeah, you got Skip. They say, hashtag butt Skip up again.
Well, Willie, you talk about them being in their feelings. Everybody wants to make every play.
That's
it's
true.
like we talk about this all the time when guys get upset. You're not the only one who hates losing or likes winning or likes doing your celebration. To me, the Steelers have an identity issue. For the longest time when you thought of the Steelers, you thought of them being tough. The bus, Palomalu, Ben is considered a tough quarterback, and now they're more of the flashy, right? So they're right. Well, I mean, you have Antonio Brown who's flashy, Le'Veon Bell is flashy. He's rapping, he's talking about Skip.
Wait, he's tiptoeing to the line.
Go ahead,
well, he is.
But so they are a bit away from their
Brown
identity.
Not tough? Is Antonio Brown not tough? I think
he's
one of the toughest players.
He's very tough, and he's very hard worker, but he is also very flashy.
He is.
The Steelers that you and I grew up watching, and even when you played, they ran the football, they played defense.
They did.
Now they throw the football, run a little bit, and try to play defense.
Yes, it's a completely different identity for the Steelers.
And you know what? I think Mike T goes home some nights and just shakes his head. These kids, right? Seriously.
That social media is a game changer, Skip.
He did in the offseason. When Brian sent the text message, right?
Yeah.
And he said, Juju Smith, when he got drafted, that was for you, Wheaton. Right? That was for you. He's going to take your spot.
Right.
Wheaton's not there anymore.
No.
Wheaton's not there anymore. And what does Tomlin chime in and say? Play nice, kids. Play nice, fellas.
He did. He did on Twitter. Right?
Play nice, fellas.
He'll jump on there too.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Willie, thanks for joining us. No mercy. The Texans will be in Seattle to take on the Seahawks Sunday. The Houston offense has been on fire, led by Deshaun Watson. They've averaged nearly 40 points in their last 4 games, and Deshaun is tied for second in the NFL with 15 touchdown passes. But Seattle has won 3 straight, and their defense has only given up about 12 points per game during that streak. Eric Mangini and Rob Parker are still with us. Shannon, what do you call them?
Ink Pen and Teller. They had the Laugh Factory tonight, guy. Catch them.
Try to feel.
Love that
it's a
because
2-drink
remember,
minimum.
Teller doesn't ever speak, and if he's Teller, he speaks a lot, right?
Yeah,
It's just that you don't pay attention to what he says.
Is
that what it is? Okay. You just
Skip, I'll start with you. How much of a shot do you give Deshaun against Seattle's defense?
Man, is this not the ultimate test for a rookie quarterback going up to Seattle, where the most points they've allowed all year is, 18 at home? Now back to my man, Coach Mangini, who has always said, going back many years, when I love hard. Don't you say that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's Tim Tebow.
Yeah, well, this
RG3.
Yeah. He got hurt.
Dak.
Tebow did really well.
Dak Prescott.
I love me some Dak.
I mean, he love hard, but he'll fall out of love quick, though.
No, I will not. No, that's not true.
He stays with it.
I do love me some Deshaun Watson, and that started after the first national championship game that he lost to Coach Saban's #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide defense. And in that game, he threw for 405 yards and ran for 73, and then came back and got some revenge, throwing for 420 in the last national championship game. Ran for 43. So in those two games, he had 7 touchdowns to 1 interception against St. Nick's defense. It was sensational, and obviously threw the last-second touchdown pass to beat Alabama last championship game. He now leads the NFL in QBR with 82. He's now 15 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and he's lost 2 games at Tom Brady on a last-second Brady to Brandon Cooks pass with 23 seconds left to go. 25 yards, lost that game 36-33, and threw for 301 at Foxborough. I know everybody's lighting up the
He was 100 yards short of everybody else.
That's true, but still, for a rookie quarterback up there, it's pretty good to hang in with Tom Brady. And he did lose at home to the then 5-0 Chiefs, but his QBR that day was 95, which on a scale of 0 to 100 is really good.
But there was a lot of garbage stuff at the end, too. Remember, they were down big.
They lost 42-34.
Right,
but he played very well, and boy, he was lighting them up late in that game. So here we go at Seattle. They're a 5.5-point underdog, and I was surprised it's only 5.5. But if I were a betting man, I would take the 5.5 points because I believe that Deshaun and his offense can put up 24. That's what I believe, and that's a lot up at Seattle.
Yeah.
But if they can score 24, my fear would be, can Houston's suddenly faltering defense with no J.J. Watt, no Merciless, could they hold Russell Wilson and company to 27, someone in that range? Because if it gets to 30, you'd lose the point spread, obviously. Yeah. I'm going to say it's 27-24 Seattle, that they do cover, in that Deshaun Watson plays well. He gives a good account of himself in his, by far, the most difficult test of his rookie year will be this one.
I give him a great shot, and because it's Deshaun Watson. Now, rookie quarterbacks are 1-7 against the Pete Carroll coach defense. 1-7. You know who that guy that won the game was? Andy Dalton in 2011. But this is not a normal rookie. Seattle is not a blitz-heavy team. We call it lurk. They call it robber. Now everybody's getting these catchy terms. Play cover one, single high safety, and Cam Chancellor jump the crossing routes. But if you blitz this young man, not only can he make plays outside the pockets with his arms, at Cincinnati, what he'll do? He'll go 40-plus yards for a touchdown. So you have to be very, very careful. Now, I love Seattle's secondary. Earl Thomas, he's the best safety in the game. You got Richard Sherman, one of the top corners. Cam is probably the best strong safety in the game. So I like this matchup. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going like 20. What I have? I had 20-17. That's what I got.
Yeah, to me, this is tough sledding. This is really tough sledding.
Because the conventional wisdom would be this will be ugly.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be ugly. The noise there is one thing that you have to deal with, and people talk about that at a lot of stadiums, but in Seattle it's real. And you look at what they've done defensively. It's been 3 points in the second half of the last 3 games. Seattle's given up 9 points total in the fourth quarter over 6 games. That's pretty amazing. And where Seattle has an advantage that a lot of teams don't is their team speed. They've got excellent team speed, so even though Deshaun is going to have those broken plays, they're going to be able to close the gap on those plays pretty quickly. And in the secondary, a lot of broken plays create big plays down the field with secondaries. Seattle, historically, when we've been in those situations against them, they're able to actually convert those into big plays for them. You want to be decisive against that defense because they have that ability. It's the same thing in the red zone. We used to try to coach Colin to go to the first read right now, Colin Kaepernick, because if you try to move around, they're so good at reading and reacting and jumping that it generates plays for them. So I don't know how well he's going to handle the environment, and as much as his ability to generate plays is been to his advantage, this defense is different against guys like that.
I look at it as.
Do you think it's going to be
I think
a rout?
I don't think it's going to be a rout. Probably 20-10.
I don't know if they're going to get over 10 points.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if they don't, listen, Russell Wilson's offense has just been on fire.
Yeah, but they can't run the ball, and let's see how well they can protect. They still have some guys that can get to the quarterback.
You realize Houston has allowed the 25th most points in the NFL this year.
So they might get
a lot.
So it might be a rout then.
I got 24-13, and I just think it's a bad matchup. The stat you brought up about the rookie quarterback, and then you talking about their defense and what they do. I like Deshaun Watson. I like what he does. Exciting player, can do so many different things. But I think against this defense, this will be the one where it'll be tested, and you'll take a look at him and see. Now, if he's able to crack that code and do something against them or upset them on the road, now I'm talking about something totally different. I will be very impressed. I don't see it happening.
And when you look at Richard Sherman or hear Richard Sherman's statements, he's talking about the fact that he's poised. He gives him that due, but he says he makes a decent amount of rookie decisions. Mm-hmm. So they're talking about it in that locker room about the opportunities that he's going to give them with throwing the ball into tight coverage. You can see what Seattle's mindset is, and I think there's a lot of truth to what Richard says.
Yeah. And rookie quarterback, you always try to take away his first read. Make him go to his second, because normally, especially a guy like Deshaun, more times than not, he'll pull that ball down and take off running. He's not going to go like Tom Brady. Okay, 1 to 2, take my check down. They're not there yet. But this kid is special. This kid has something. He has.
You know what?
It.
He's got some pretty special receivers. DeAndre's pretty special.
Oh, yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller can get past people.
He might Hopkins might see Richard Sherman all day.
He probably will, but they can bang the ball with
they got
Lamar
Fuller,
Miller
Braxton Miller,
and Dante Foreman, the big kid from Texas.
You might still be coaching in the league if you had Deshaun Watson. You know, you might.
Wow, that's the best you can do. It must be Friday, Rob, because your material has dried up.
Well, you guys talking about who Skip loves. Skip loves Deshaun. He leads the NFL in QBR. Dak is second in QBR.
And I did say before the draft, the Browns would forever regret if they don't take Deshaun Watson. I think they're regretting it.
The Browns make a lot of regrettable decisions.
What about Wentz? They had a chance to get Wentz the year earlier. And they see Wentz and Deshaun Watson got like 32 touchdowns between the two, and their quarterbacks got 32.
I think they're just embracing their brand.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them.
Look at that. That sounds like that sounds bitter.
Oh, no. He
lives in Ohio.
Yeah.
He's still getting paid by the Browns.
I know, the Browns still paying you?
They are not still paying me.
No,
as of last week. Last check.
The last check?
Last check was deposited last week.
I was trying to get breakfast. I figured since they're paying for it, right?
To buy you breakfast?
You're always trying to get
He's always trying to get free food.
Yes. That's why he go to the games. They feed the sports.
I'm going to the Laker game tonight.
Security checks his bag every time he leaves the building.
Because he's got like leftovers and he brings Tupperware.
No, I only take sweets home. I don't take cookies, cake.
Rob, Eric, thanks for joining us. No mercy. After the Lakers lost on Sunday, LaVar Ball said Lonzo would not lose twice in the same week. This prompted Marcin Gortat to say that John Wall would torture Lonzo in their game on Wednesday night. The Lakers went on to beat the Wizards, led by Lonzo's 10 assists. LaVar reacted to that win by telling Bleacher Report, quote, "If you keep taking it personal, trying to go one-on-one with my son, you're going to lose every time." Shannon, does LaVar have a point?
No, he does not have a point. Skip, the NBA is all about one-on-one. You're trying to win your one-on-one matchup. You're trying to win that battle. And sometimes it's a battle within the game. Mm-hmm. But he keeps trying to make this about his son. The Lakers won in spite of how bad his son shot the basketball. Yeah, he had 10 assists, but he didn't play particularly well. He made it seem like his son had 35 and 15. He made it seem like his son had a Boogie Cousins type game last night, a 41-23. He didn't. What I've learned about, and I'm very fortunate, having played Skip for 14 years, professional athletes do not have a problem heaping praise on other professional athletes as long as it's earned. He's trying to give his son praise and adulation without having played the game in a meaningful NBA ball game. And the players resent that. Are they going to go? Do you think Steph Curry goes at Russ any different? No, you go at a guy because he plays the position. I'm trying to outdo you. Now, it became public when Marcin Gortat, he made that tweet. But do you think John Wall was not going to go at him? Do you think any other point guards that play against Lonzo Ball, will they not attack him? Of course they will. And even the veteran point guards, because you're talking about your son, is like better than some of the all-time greats. And they're like, hold on. You basically stepping over us to go at them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go at your son.
Yeah.
It's not just about your son. It's about the Lakers. My boy, my boy.
Yep.
Well, what about the Lakers? Your boy shot 2 for 11. Man, I'm about to be so done with, and I get it. I get it. But LaVar, it can't be just about your son. The Lakers were the Lakers before your son got there. They're going to be the Lakers after he leaves. You keep, oh, my boy. If you think your son is not going to lose a game, 2 games in a week, you out your mind. Some of the greats, Golden State lost back-to-back games. The 96 Bulls that went 72-10, they lost back-to-back games. For him to, Skip, go ahead, man. This dude here.
I do have to say today, LaVar Ball is an amazing human being, because as outrageous as he keeps getting, more and more outrageous, he also keeps being right. And on Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday morning, sitting right here in this chair, it was the first time I criticized LaVar after months and months of defending LaVar, because I kept saying, I'm not going to condemn a father for over-loving, over-protecting, over being there for his son, being a stage father. Again, I wish I'd had LaVar as my father. But in this case, I thought it was way too much to paint a target on his kid's back ahead of some routine Wednesday night game against John Wall.
Right.
You're even going to make it hard on your kid against John Wall, a proven 4-time All-Star.
Yeah.
You're even going to hype this game to hype yourself and make it that much harder for your kid in, what was that, his 4th NBA game. Really? And I kept, as I said on Wednesday, what's he going to do before the kid has to play Steph? What's he going to say before the LeBron game? Russ, Harden, name somebody. CP3, all of them.
Yeah.
They're all coming right down the line. This is pretty routine. This is John Wall at Staples on a Wednesday night.
4th game of 82.
In October. And you're going to do it for that game? You're going to go way out on the limb and say, Lonzo ain't losing twice in a week at home. Really? Well, so I couldn't blame Gortat. I couldn't blame John Wall for saying, I'm going to show no mercy.
Right.
And guess what? I said yesterday, now LaVar will probably take credit for John Wall's performance, which was it was even worse than Lonzo's was. And right on schedule, he took credit. And maybe there's something to, I got to give him some credit here, what he's saying. Maybe he hypes it so much that the opposing point guard, as great as he might be, comes out with blood in his eyes. And what was the quote? LaVar said, if you keep taking it personal, trying to go one-on-one with my son, you're going to lose every time. Well, he's saying you're taking the focus off your team. You're trying to make it just the two of you going at it. And sometimes, as you pointed out early yesterday, right out of the box, you said, boy, John Wall was a little out of character.
Right.
You know, like he was a little out of rhythm because he was trying to go so hard.
Right.
Not that they were guarding each other every time, because they weren't, but he was just trying to make such a statement that he was trying too hard.
Right.
And it kind of blew up in his face. So does LaVar deserve a little bit of credit for being right about that one? I'll give him a little bit of credit, but I'm still going to say that thanks to LaVar Ball, his kid has the highest degree of difficulty of any rookie in sports history. No rookie. LeBron didn't come in. Nobody wanted to terrorize LeBron that first time around when he was he still, what, 19 years old?
18.
18 years old. Nobody had blood in their eyes playing LeBron. They didn't make it personal. We're going to put him in his place. I think everybody liked LeBron. Maybe they wanted to challenge him and show that they were still in charge, but nobody made it a personal vendetta to get even with LeBron James. This has never happened before. And I still say that the kid was taken a little personal, Lonzo was, on Wednesday night, because the first 5 minutes of that game, he just went passive. He just went and stood over on the weak side too much, and finally Luke Walton took him out and sat him for a whole quarter, from mid-first quarter all the way to mid-second quarter. He sat on the bench, because I think Luke saw that he was just disengaging because he didn't want to make it all about him versus John Wall.
So let me Let me tell you what's going to happen. The Lakers are going to lose 2 games in a week. And you know what he's going to say? It happens. It's the NBA. It's a long season. Okay, somebody's going to torch him for 40, where they got to play better team defense. He's always going to take this. Now, if his son plays great, what I tell you about my boy? Mm-hmm. They don't win.
Well, his other quote yesterday was, "It's not about stats." So when you say, "Well, look at these terrible stats at home,"
right?
And LaVar saying it's not about stats; it's about closing games. That's why they drafted him to close games. Well, did he close the New Orleans game on Sunday night?
KCP hit the big 3.
But I mean, they lost that game after they roared back from 23 down.
And what happens when Russ or one of these point guards go off? Then it's going to be team defense. Well, none of these guys guard one-on-one each other. And that's the point, Skip. Really, if KD can't stop LeBron one-on-one for an entire game, LeBron can't stop KD, and vice versa. The guys are too good. That's what they say. We got to play help defense. He keeps making it about, oh, my boy. But when they don't win, well, they got to do more. I get it. You're trying to pitch something. You're trying to sell it. But let your son play. Oh, I've been talking like this. My son been dealing with this pressure. Okay. He's dealing with pressure because he wants to be a great basketball player. He ain't talking. That what you doing? He's going out there trying to get he wanted to get to the NBA, Skip. And you talking about it. And I know you think you did this. Your talking really got him go. Really? You can do all the talking you want to, Skip. But if Lonzo Ball wasn't talented, do you think he'd be in the NBA? No. So what good is that talking doing if his son can't play? His son can play.
So you don't think LaVar talked it into existence, as he says? Right? So he created Lonzo he just kept saying he was going to be great until finally he just became great.
No, that's not how.
I don't think that's how it happened.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. Look, got great genetics. I mean, his wife was an athlete. He was an athlete.
Yep.
And normally when athletes come together, you get great things happen. Not always. Not always, but sometimes. I mean, that's the way they kind of do it. But for him to be talking about, oh, my boy, man, you see what my boy did? Your boy was 2'11". Okay? You lost the first game. It wasn't about, it's not about stats. You win the second game, well, you see what my boy did? Always had this. They lose. So this is what we're going to get, Skip. We're going to get back and forth. If they don't win, the team, they got to do better. Lonzo going to my boy made his plays. And when they win, he's going to get all the credit,
Remember Kobe at 19 that first year?
Yeah, Kobe wasn't very good.
Shaky.
Yeah. Because Dale Harris, I think, was the coach.
He was.
And he tried to let Kobe take over against Utah.
Shooting air balls?
Air ball.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
I forgot to check on this, but I think Lonzo is 20. It's either.
He took today.
Today, right?
Yeah, today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Lonzo.
He's no longer a teenager.
But that big guy from Akron at 18.
Didn't he shoot an air ball the other day?
Oh, no. Oh, we shoot a bunch of them. But at 18, tell me who was the baddest 18-year-old you ever seen, Skip Bayless?
LeBron James was.
No, Kareem might have something to say about that. But hey,
well,
they couldn't go back
UCLA.
there. They couldn't. Well, they couldn't even play. They couldn't even play on the college team.
Varsity. That's right. Correct. Yeah. No, I agree. No, LeBron was. That was a long time
Still
ago.
is.
Long time ago.
Skip, think about it. How do you have that level of dominance for so long? So long. 15 years, playing all those minutes, and still giving you 27, 10, and 7. How you do that?
I don't know.
How they do that there?
How could the media let you get away with all those years of missing that many free throws?
Skip, you know what? You need to stop, Skip.
He has.
Well, they didn't get on Warren Beatty for having all them lovers.
Think
it
about
don't matter.
He's good actor. He's missed the 12th most free throws in NBA history, and 10 of the guys above him were centers who can't shoot free throws anyway. And the 11th guy just above him was his man, Charles Barkley.
Can I ask you a question? Do you take anything away for Elizabeth Taylor because she was married 7 times? She still was great in Cleopatra, wasn't she?
She's a hero.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, Skip?
So what does that have to do with missing free throws?
He's so good, don't even worry about all that. That's what I'm saying. I said that to say this.
Elizabeth Taylor did that on purpose.
I know. LeBron's
not missing it on purpose.
He missed one, go get that last three-pointer like he did against Washington. Remember last year?
He lucky banked it in.
No, that was he played.
Threw it in from the front row, the third row, and it banked in.
Skip,
you know it did.
Don't do that.
get banked in. Do you think he called bank on the
man make $82 million a year. Yeah. The bank ain't never closed for him.
Well, that's true.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Keep an eye out for a weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.